Hey guys, it's TheCubeSyndrome here. Today I want to do some 4x4 walkthrough solves with Yau. Now, just a note, these solves will be at a basic level, so if you're just getting into Yau, this will be helpful. So without further ado, let's get right into the solves. Now this is the first scramble and I'm just making sure that I scrambled it correctly, and yes, it is correct. So for these walkthrough solves, I'm just going to do white center, then yellow center, just to keep it consistent. So I'm going to do white first, so I see these two pieces, which can go in easily to form a bar. So all I have to do is do a U prime to set this up, and then bring this up to form a bar. Now my last two pieces are here and here, and this is very easy. All you need to do is move one of the pieces so it can be sliced to form a bar. Now I can just move it up without worry. Now I'm going to double rotate and work on the yellow. So I see these two, which can be made into a bar. So I do that. I put it under this one piece, bring it up, double turn and bring it back down to form an L. Now, I just need to find the last piece, and it turns out that it's here. So what I can do here is put this right under the tip of the L, bring it up, do a U prime to move this across, and when I bring it back down, the yellow center should be completed. So the next step is to do the edges, and the first one I see is the blue and white one. So I'm just going to move it across so they're both on opposite layers, and now when I slice, it should be paired up. I can just insert this anywhere. Next one I see, this is taking a while, these two. So what I can do is hide one and turn it so now they're on opposite layers and can be sliced. And since green is opposite of blue, I'm going to put it opposite 180 degrees from there. So the next one I see is red and white. So this is also pretty easy. Just hide one of the edges, move it across and bring it back up. Now I'm going to slice it across, and because red is on the blue and above green, I'm going to put it in there. Now we're up to the centers. So I'm going to put this red bar down to this red piece to form an L, and the last red seems to be here. And so the piece needs to be in the bottom right because that's where the tip of the L is. So I'm going to do that quickly, making sure I don't mess this up. And now I can do white R2, U, right R2 again. And that solves that. And under red should be green. So I'm going to bring this up from the L, being also careful that I don't mess up any of my three edges. This is the last green. And here I can just, instead of moving this piece, I can just move this L. So now they're both in line. Now I can do what I just did before. Okay, now under green is orange, and I'm going to put this here, bring up the bar, and then do that as normal. And it turns out that this is perfectly aligned. So I'm going to move this empty slot down, bring the left side up, and then do that. And that self-centers. Now onto the last white edge piece, and that turns out to be these two. So I'm going to put one of them in, and then this piece goes in like that, and now I'm ready to slice. I form that pair, I bring it out, and then I replenish it. You can just put that in as normal, and the white cross is done. Okay, now we're going to do 3-4-3 edge pairing. So we're just going to slice this over one like that, and I see this, and its corresponding piece is back here. So I'm just going to take it out, and it turns out to be here. So I need to do a normal R, U prime, R prime insert to position it there. The next piece corresponds with this one, and it's the yellow and red. And with this case, I actually need to sledgehammer it in to make sure it's in the bottom layer. The next piece is already in place. So what I can just do is slice, and I've done 3 edges. So I see these two next. So I put it in line. I slice over. And before I slice back, I'm going to take this out by putting this piece in. And to put this piece in so it matches up with this piece. Okay, now just 3 more. So with this, I'm going to do the orange and yellow next. So I'm going to put this piece in, and then I can slice over. And finally, these two should be easy. Just replace that, and then slice back, and everything should be done. Now I'm going to be quickly skimming through the 3x3 because I assume you already know how to solve that. So these two, and then these two, these two, these two. I get parity, so I just solve that. This case, and then get double parity, and then we get G prime, which is absolutely fantastic. Next solve. Now I'm again making sure that I scrambled this correctly, and it turns out I have. So let's get onto this walkthrough solve. So again, I'm going to do white first. So I see these two. So these could easily form a bar like that. And the last pieces are here, and that's pretty easy. Don't mess up this bar. Form these two and bring it up, and that completes the center. Next is yellow, and this is pretty straightforward as well. So these two will pair up if I do a double. So I put that in as well. Line this at the back and perform this at the back just like normal. Now I'm going to do the white edges, So the first one I see are these two. So I'm just going to do an L prime and a U prime to put these two into position. Slice, put it in. Next I see, okay, this is bad. Okay, these two actually. So I'm going to put it in like that. And actually I could have done this better, but we'll just go with this for now. D2, and then, whoops, Y to L prime, and that pairs it up. It's long, but it works. Okay, next, it's these two. So I'm going to do this, put this in there, put this in the opposite layer, slice, and put this in below green. That's very important. And now, I'm going to go straight onto the centers. Now I'm going to do red first, so because that's really easy. You can see that this is already perfectly lined up to do an L, U prime, L prime. So that solves that. And under red is green, so I'm just going to do that as well. So I'm going to put this bar, replace it, U2, and put it back to form the L. Do a U prime to line it up with the final piece. Bring the empty slot down, L prime, U, L. And now I'm going to do orange, since that's under green. So I'm going to put this piece up, replace the bar, do a U and bring it back down. And then I'm going to do a U2, like that. And I didn't mess any of this up, you can notice. And I'm just going to solve the final L. Now onto the last white edge. So you can see that this is pretty straightforward. All I have to do is do a D, which lines it up as well as creates an empty slot at the front. I'm going to insert this piece, slice over, take it out, fix up the centers, and then just put the cross piece in, just like that. And now I'm going to work on 333. So I'm actually just going to slice back like this, and then find the corresponding piece to this piece, and that turns out to be here, the red and green. I'm going to take it out and reinsert it in the correct position. And then next is this piece, and that turns out to be here. So I'm just going to take it out, making sure I don't mess this one up, because I notice it's solved. Okay, sledgehammer it in. And finally, this edge piece corresponds with this one. Sledge it in. And then you restore it, and 3 edges are solved. Next is these two. I'm just going to put it in, and I'm going to slice. And you can notice that the corresponding piece to this turns out to be back here. So I'm just going to take it out and put it in, and then slice back, and nothing's happened, so that's good. And then next is these two. Put it into opposite layers, slice, and before I slice back, I have to remember to put this piece in, the yellow and red, to here. and then I slice back and everything's solved. Now onto the 3x3 stage, I see these two first. Put it in like that. And then these two. And then these. And then finally this. I actually could have done that better. Okay, now we get a dot case, but no parity, which is good. And then a G perm, I'm pretty sure. Final solve. Okay, and it turns out this scramble is also correct, so let's just get this done. Okay, so I'm gonna do the white first. So I'm gonna position this piece right above the empty slot where it needs to go, which is here. So again, I'm gonna replace it, put it across, and then put it back so that it forms the L. My last piece is down here, and that's really straightforward. Do an R, R prime, because that's the L case and it was correctly matched up. Double rotate, and now I see this case, so I'm going to move it across so these two line up and can be paired up into a bar. Insert it like that, and then these two should be pretty easy. Just line it up again, put them directly on top of each other. L prime, U to L. Okay, now onto the edges. So the first pair I see these two, and that's again easy. Just hide one of them, move it across, and bring it back up. And since they're opposite colors and on opposite layers, they can be matched up like that, and put in anywhere since that's the first edge. Next, these two. So now that I moved it across, I need to hide it, move it across again, and now I did the same thing as before. Slice it, and that needs to be on top of green. So I put it there. Next is blue, and this is an easy case. I'm gonna put an empty slot at the bottom. Do R prime, D prime, and then I can move it over like that. Put it where it needs to go, which is above red, and now I'm onto the centers. So I'm gonna do red first, and this was just like the white center. All I need to do is put an empty slot down here, and now it's all set up to do R prime, U prime, R, and that forms an L, and its corresponding piece is down here, which is already set up. Move the empty slot down, L prime, U prime to move the bar across, and now we can restore the center to complete it. Now under red is actually green. So I'm gonna put this bar underneath that piece, move it across and put it back to form the L, and the final piece is down here, so we can see that it lines up correctly. R2, U, R2, and everything's solved. Well, the green's solved, but not everything. So what I need to do left is the orange, so I'm gonna put this piece in there. Move the empty slot down, L prime, U to L, and that forms an L. And then next, I'm going to match this up to where it needs to be. And that's the same L case, and the blue is solved by default. Next, I'm going to go on to the orange and white. Put this piece in, like that. Put this piece in, the sledgehammer. They can be sliced, taken out, centers restored, and then put in like that. Okay, next is the 323. You can notice that this one is already solved, but it doesn't matter, we'll just slice anyways and treat it like we'd solved that. So the corresponding piece to yellow and green is here, and that needs to be sledged in. And finally, the corresponding piece to this is the blue and red, and it needs to be put in the bottom there. I slice back and 3 edges are solved. Next, I'm going to work on the yellow and red, and its corresponding piece is here. So I'm going to sledge it, slice across, and before I slice back, I find that these two pair up. So I'm just going to put it in and slice back. And now I only have 2 more centers. Now I only have 2 more edges left to go, and it's these two. So I'm going to sledge it in so that these two are in the same layer, and they need to be solved together, and these two are in the same layer as well. So I'm just going to do this, slice across one way, perform the flipping algorithm, and slice back like that. Now we're onto the 3x3 stage as usual. So I'm going to do these two, insert at the back like that. These two, which was an awkward choice. And now I'm going to do these two. That was pretty badly done as well. And now these two. I get parity. I'm going to get a H case after this. Yep. Oops. Okay. Now we have a G perm again, which is annoying. Well, that concludes my 3 walkthrough solves of Yau on 4x4. If you've enjoyed, like and subscribe. See you all in the next video.